Hello everyone, this is Jotto, and welcome to the 6th Solforge Weekly. I don't know, there's too many numbers going around. I've got the tournament recaps, and then I've got the weekly shows, and there's too many numbers, so it's number 5 or 6 or something. Anyway, the main point is that it's the second half of the set review. I could have done this on Sunday, but I wanted to get a certain person on with me to do this review because I feel like you have to get the compulsory German person in on most of these videos. So say hi.
Hi.
That would be Moon in the
Good to
background.
be on the show. I couldn't make it last week, so happy that we could do it this week.
Yeah. Funny thing, we actually recorded the first half of the set review over, I think it was 2 weeks ago actually. We recorded the first half of the set review with both of us on it, and I was rewatching it and it was horrible.
Like Jotto was
I derped out
reporting
so badly on that.
Yeah, like Jotto was reporting to me. I was like, sure, oh, okay. We're
And
gonna
then
upload this. We're gonna upload the show, and then Jotto just said, we can't do it. I just
No.
failed so horribly or something.
I even went into a charade. Like, I started 10 piece at the end of the video by accident. And I was just like, it was horrible. So, yeah, we wanted to re-record the whole thing, but then Moon didn't have time, so I just had to do the first half myself. Anyway, that's okay though, because Aloy Necrium, not too impressive. Although I was correct on the Skull Knight, by the way. I've seen some people play that and constructed. It's been very good. So I'm happy about that. Other things, there haven't been that many constructed hits from Aloy and Necrium in general. X-Rats will seen some play. Skull's seen some play. Not too many Aloy cards really seeing play. Set 2 hasn't been that big of a hit in terms of constructed in general. Although I have, after drafting it for over 2 weeks now, the draft format in Set 2 is so much more fun than Set 1. It's ridiculous.
Completely agreed. Like, there's so many possibilities of building your draft deck depending on what first pick you actually get.
And so we're going to talk a lot about draft this time for heroic and down. I think if it's constructed, we'll say, but we're mainly going to talk about draft in this particular review. So, starting with Tempe's, the Ashurian Brawler, also known as the Deep Branch Prowler of Tempe's.
I think it's better than Deep Branch Prowler.
Oh yeah, it's better than Deep Branch Prowler, but it fits the same role in draft, I think.
Not quite, because it actually can be a threat. Like, you have to deal with the Deep Branch Prowler, and with the you don't have to deal with the Deep Branch Prowler, but you have to deal with the Ashurian Brawler.
Unless they buff it.
Unless they buff
this
it.
is worse with buffs because you can't get any damage in, which is kind of awkward. But it like its ability and stats are more powerful. It's what happens when you color shift Deep Branch Prowler into 10 piece, I feel.
Like, if I have both cards next to each other, I would obviously pick
this one.
The Brawler, the Ashurian Brawler.
Yeah, like the weaker effect, like that's a weaker effect than Breakthrough. I think we can agree on this. Weaker effect, better stats. Okay.
Agreed.
Now, when I first started drafting 10 piece, I actually picked this quite high, but then now I don't pick it at all unless I have to. And every single time I play against one of these and he levels it in player level 1, I'm just like, hey, free win. Because they get to level 3 and they're like, 11-11. I'm like, beta.
Yeah, it's obviously not a good late game card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you have like an under-leveled hand, then it's...
What is it with the Asirs? Like, have you noticed this? All the Asirs are weird. None of them are like normal. All the Asirs do weird things that don't quite make sense when they hit things. And it's just really, really weird. I don't particularly like it in draft. Once you constructed, because Stormcaller exists. Like, if you need your high attack red card, go for Stormcaller, please. It's so much more powerful than this. But, I mean, for a set 2 Stormcaller Deep Branch Prowler thing, I feel like you pick it at the same high as Deep Branch Prowler, which is not very high, but it's a rule of 6 card in the late game. Just as a level 1. It's not horrible, but I don't particularly like it in draft. Moving on to the Bizrak Spite Mage, also known as would be one of the best cards in the set if Cersei didn't exist.
it is still one of the best red cards in the set.
It's still one of the best cards in the set. Like, it would be like top 3 if Cersei wasn't here. But we went over this in the spoiler. We talked a lot about this in the spoiler, and I feel like it's kind of, we haven't really been able to see how good it is, because this is a constructed card. It's not amazing in draft.
Some constructed matches, and it's pretty much in like every Tempest constructed deck
with
right
Necrim, yeah. It's in every NT removal deck or NT move.
Yeah.
Like, it's more aggressive than Cersei. I feel like this is worse than Cersei in NT removal, and better in NT mobility.
Yeah, and you also have to play it in mono color, obviously.
Well, yeah, with mono Necrim.
With mono Necrim, right.
Oh, 3 Bizrax. Okay, let's just kill everything you can play. It also kills Thundersaur. That's a pretty big deal. It kills Thundersaur. Thundersaur got a lot weaker in this patch. I've been running, like, I crafted my Thundersaurs, and I've been running 2. I was planning on crafting the 3rd one, but I decided not to, because 2 is actually a decent number. I've seen, because there are some counters to it, although some decks still die to it. But this is a counter in NT for the grown Thundersaurs that are really annoying to deal with once they get out of cull range. So I like the fact that this card exists. It's not as good as Cersei, but then it's a guaranteed kill, not a Epidemic is annoying me card. Yeah, Cersei's really awkward like that. But yeah, Cersei I don't think has been good as... Cersei was the most... the second most hyped card from the entire set from spoilers. The most hyped card was Korok. Or Korok, or something, I don't know exactly how you pronounce that, but anyway.
Because he was the most,
first one.
Like, he was enabling the most
decks, and he's also the first Forgeborn, so everyone hyped him. Second one was Cersei, because we were like, oh my god, Blightwalker. But then we realized that it's not as good as it looks. Like, it'll see a lot of constructed play, but it's not sort of Zemus level, which I think is what people were expecting. They were expecting it to be like on the same power level as Zemus, but it really isn't. So it's a little awkward. I think the legendaries in general on this set have not been up to par with the set 1 stuff. But we'll get there when we get there. On to Cinder Colossus, also known as the most annoying card in draft in the world.
It's a weird card.
It's a really weird card.
Yeah.
I mean, level 1 is useless. The level 2 is okay. The level 3, if you have a jetpack in your deck, if you are playing Aloyan, your opponent will kill them.
Yeah.
Because they will die as soon as you jetpack this. It's worse than Forge Guardian Alpha, dude. It scales better. It's worse at early levels, but no one cares about the early levels in Defender decks.
Right. It scales better at level 2 and 3.
At level 3, 27 attack. At 27, that's like Scrap Forge Titan level.
24 attack, you mean? And 27.
Well, if you jetpack it.
Okay.
It's like Scrap Forge Titan level. It's insane. Also, the art is hilarious on this card.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Like, the first one, I guess the whole theme is that he's lava that comes to life or something.
By the looks of it.
It's just
weird. I like the level 1, like when he sneaks out there.
The level 2 I think is the worst one here. The level 1 is the weirdest. Yeah, the level 3 is a bit generic. It's good artwork, but it's a bit generic. Level 1 is like really, really weird, and I like it. If you have like 2 jetpacks, pick them. If you don't have 2 jetpacks, don't pick them. Now, on to Cinder Mystic. Cinder Mystic feels like the Earth Giant. No, what's it called? The 3/6 that becomes insane from set 1.
You think so?
Well, alright.
Not sure if I
The reason why I say that is because when...
Stonefish Giant.
Stonefish Giant, thank you. When people first looked at this card, it felt like Stonefish Giant. Like, oh my god, the level 1 isn't too good, the level 2 is okay, level 3 is really good, but the first 2 levels are not amazing. That's kind of what it felt like. But as I've seen more and more people draft, and I've drafted more and more, it's kind of like with Stonefish Giant. I seem to pick this more and more and more over like bigger and bigger things. Because what this card does is you play it early, you then play it at level 2, it will kill anything, and then at level 3, it will kill 99% of things they can play, and if they get level screwed for one turn, they take 20 damage. Because 14 life is actually a decent chunk. Like, it's not a lot, but it's like the zombie health. Like, zombies don't die that easily. It takes 2 cards to kill a level 3 zombie, basically. And 14 life...
You can play the Mystic, like, free level 1. You can't really trade with it.
You can, actually, surprisingly. I mean, people find out how to trade with Growth Huntresses. Like, it's Growth Hunter stats. Like, it doesn't look good. I'm actually going to say this. It does not look good. And the only reason I found out that it was good was because I was forced to draft like 3 or 4 of them last pick because everyone else also thought it was bad.
We'll give it a try if you say it's not bad.
I would try. I've got a couple of 4-0s, and 2 of them have been with 10-piece, and they both had 2 Cinder Mystics in them. It's a really, really powerful blocker. And it even has a lot of attacking power at upper levels. Now, speaking of attacking power, Cloud Cleaver. I keep saying Cloud Reaver. No, it's Cloud Cleaver Titan. Nice one on the names. That's right next to the grafting from the Target 2 armor thing. And I kept saying crafting. It's tongue twister names. But, alright, first of all, the art on this is insanely good.
Agreed.
Insanely good. Like, it's so good. And the ability on this thing is crazy.
Yeah.
This, like, the amount of damage this does racks up really, really fast.
Yeah, really fast. I mean, you obviously it's not a trading card, that's for sure. It's like an aggressive card. Obviously, you play it for free, then you move it, and then you get the +2 attack.
I feel the weird thing about this card though is I feel it's worse than Wind Elemental at a rarity higher. It's a bit awkward.
But not much worse, I would say.
It's not much worse. In fact, the level 2 I think is better. The level 1 is worse, level 2 is better, level 3 is worse. Because at the level 2 you get more life, which is kind of important. But the level 3 Wind Primordial is crazy. Like, we had this discussion with Tower Scout, which is not horrible in draft, but if you're an Aloyan 10-piece, every single time you pick a Tower Scout, you're just like, I wish that was another common in 10-piece.
You think this card could see constructed play?
No.
It's probably too weak.
Well, I mean, the problem is that it's on the same level as Wind Primordial, arguably, but less powerful at upper levels, and less powerful at level 1.
Also gets hit by every level of Caldewick.
Yeah, well, actually, you have to put something in front of it, though.
Yeah.
But then, if you don't put something in front of it, you just Dreadbolt it. So, I don't think it'll see much constructed play. I wouldn't pick it absurdly highly in draft, but I don't feel bad when I pick a Cloud Cleaver Titan, I'll put it that way. Conflagrate. This is what happens when they push one of these Target 2 things way too far. Way too far. I've seen this in Constructed everywhere. Like, actually killing 2 creatures at once in Constructed over and over and over again.
I've not seen it that much of the like real pro players. They are actually not playing it that much.
That's because it's a common card and they're not looking at it. This happened so many times in set 1, dude. Look at Matrix Warden. Matrix Warden took almost a year to see play.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's a dorky common, and it's only a 3/3. And even in draft, people didn't like it because they thought, oh, it's not a rule of 6 card. It is. You just have to target itself. Like, Conflagrate. Okay, so in set 2, from what I can tell with spells, they want to do 2 things. 1, stop punishing people for leveling spells early. And 2, they wanted to create cycles of cards. This is supposed to be the draft-worthy, weaker Firestorm.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a stronger Firestorm. You can't just make the common more powerful than the heroic.
Well, they tend to
Why?
do that with this set actually.
Like, I mean, the Necrean one was an absolute failure. The Alliant one was kind of mediocre. The Utera one's good. The Utera one is like perfectly balanced, by the way. We'll get to that later. Twin Strength is a really, really well designed card. Conflagrate, they went too far on. I'm sorry. Like, I've played in draft. I've gone like 3-1.
5-7, like at level 2-5, and then at level 3.
You get rewarded for leveling it early. Like, oh, I have a level 2 spell in my hand. Alright, I'll just kill both of your level 2s. I've done that so many times. It's completely insane. Like, I don't even know where to go from here. It's a combat trick. It kills 2 things. It really messes up Tarsus decks, by the way. Like, okay, kill your Leafkin and damage your Tarsus. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't feel too bad about this card. I mean, it might see some competitive constructed play. I've seen it a lot in constructed. It might see some competitive constructed play. Not definite. It might see it though. I'd be willing to bet that it sees like a top 16 at some point in one of the qualifiers from here to set 3.
1 or 2 off.
Yeah, maybe. But I wouldn't feel so bad about this unless I knew Firestorm existed, because the whole point of these cards was that they were weaker AoE heroics from set 1 to be used in draft. They went way too far with this thing. Like, you barely ever see Conflagrates in draft anymore because people first pick them. It's kind of absurd. I mean, I think actually, no, the craziest thing about this card is the scaling. Like, if you play it in player level 1, you don't feel too bad, because when you draw it, it rewards you. 6 damage to 2 things is pretty crazy. That's 3 Magma Hound triggers. So, I don't know. I mean, Magma Hound sees constructed play. And often Magma Hound is deal 4 damage to something, deal 2 to another. Like, that's actually how Magma Hound was played most of the time. And this doesn't let you get breakthrough. And it also is more evenly spread. It kills Matrix Wardens, like straight up. I think it's good. I think it's very, very good. Although, also, what is going on with this art? Like,
Well.
is that some... I feel like the spell should be called Lava Plume. Like, that does not look like a Conflagrate to me, but whatever. Anyway, moving on. Emberwind Evoker. No one's broken it in constructed yet, but in draft it's been pretty good.
You would be wonder. There is actually, like, there are constructed movement decks around right now.
There are, but
it's
no
not
one's...
tier 1 right now, it's probably
exactly.
like tier 2.
No one's broken it yet, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
I do think it has potential, though. I'm sticking to that. I think it has potential. In draft, this is ridiculous if you have Necrean with it. You play your Bizrak Drake, and now you have a Regenerator that gets bigger every single turn.
Yeah. Berserk Drake is probably also the way to go when you play it constructed.
Yeah. If you're playing these two, the other thing is Doomwing. Move your Doomwing, and now it's bigger.
Yeah, doesn't get killed by Epidemic anymore.
Predator is another crazy interaction. Move your under-leveled Predator. Like, your level 2 Predator just becomes a level 3 Predator, like, instantly as soon as you play this. It's a really good card. I'm not sure if it'll see a bunch of constructed, but I think it will see some. On to Firemane Steed. I'm not sure about this in draft. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, I picked it when I actually got the Emberwind Invoker and stuff. Then I tend to pick this card, but I'm just not playing it.
Like, I did force myself to play it in a couple of games, and the level 1 was atrocious. The level 2 was okay. The level 3 was really, really good. But
like,
it just...
I rather play the zombie, which has regenerate.
I'd rather have the... I would not play... Wait, which zombie? The new
like
one?
the
new one?
Yeah,
the 2/5?
the new one. Which
Yeah,
gets...
that one's pretty good. I thought you meant like the old zombie from Alpha.
No, the new
No,
one.
no, no.
It trades with so many stuff.
Yeah, that thing's really, really good. But it feels like you're gonna play this if you're in the NT move deck and draft, The problem is, I'd rather just pick the Grimgaunt. Like, I'd rather have an 11/11 at level at level 2.
Well, you have to get it though.
Yeah, but they're both common.
Yeah, I guess.
So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't particularly like it in draft. Someone might prove me wrong, but every time I play with that, I don't particularly like it. Flame Lance. Because screw you, Lightning Spark.
Yeah, it is basically in. It made it into the aggressive constructed decks.
Well, obviously, it just replaced the playset of
yeah, that's how
Lightning
good this
Sparks.
card is.
Also, this thing was elusive to get. This thing was really annoying for me. Like, I didn't get my playset until like 10 days after the second match. I already had like my Umbra Clashers, I already had my Ebon Skull Knights. Like, I got my I have one Oros, and I got my Oros before my Flame Lances. Like, why? And then the day after I got my Oros, I got login reward, Flame Lance. First win, Flame Lance. Third win, a pack with a Flame Lance in it. I'm just like, oh, okay. I got all three in one day. I never saw it in draft because people are picking it. They're rare drafting it. And I just never got it in packs. So it took me ages to get my Flame Lances. But I'm just ranting on about this. We already talked about this in the spoiler show. Replace Lightning Spark with this thing. It's insane. Moving on. Flame Fury Shaman, also known as the looks way better than it actually is card. It's awkward. The mutinous drone effect has always been awkward. And this one isn't permanent. The stats are better, but this one isn't permanent.
Most of the stuff in Tempest isn't permanent.
Yeah, that's true. Alloying gets the permanent buffs, Tempest gets the temporary stuff. But it's the second one in the low stat activate cards, and I like it more than the Alloyan one, that's for sure. But I don't really like it. Does that make any sense?
I think in draft it's actually a fine card.
In draft it's okay.
It trades with a lot of stuff.
In draft it's okay.
On its own even.
But it doesn't impact the board straight away. Like, your opponent has a turn to set up their board so it doesn't get blown out by this, which is the problem I have. Like, alright, so you need this for a block. You play it. And then turn. Activate. And your opponent obviously didn't block what you activate, so you get 3 extra damage in and you lose a card.
Yeah, it's true.
It's card disadvantage. That's what I don't like. I mean, if it could target itself, this thing would be absurd.
Yeah. Maybe we will see it in the Forge show at some point.
Maybe. We'll see.
I would be interested to see someone coming up with it.
Now, I am proud to say that I own a Glacius. I do in fact own a Glacius. I got this as my login daily a couple days ago. I was so happy.
Wow. That's insane, yeah.
Still haven't played it in Constructed. I haven't been testing Tempest decks in Constructed recently, so I haven't played this in Constructed. I don't know whether it's good or not. I think it probably is, but I ain't sure. In draft it's absurd, but it's a legendary. Most legendaries are crazy in draft. In Constructed, I don't know. Don't quote me on anything. I think it might be good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching streams regularly, like from the pro players, and yeah, this guy went into the Yeti decks.
Yeah, that's where I was. I did test him once in the Yeti deck I made, but I didn't I don't have 3, so I didn't draw him enough to kind of get a good gauge.
It's mostly in the Yeti decks because of the 3 attack, so you can wheel with it.
He's also a Thundersword counter.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much else to say here. He's a Thundersword counter in Tempest. That's why he might be good. Now, Glacial Crush, also known as Screw You Gargoyles.
Does not even need to be leveled. This card is insane.
Like, if Robots becomes the best deck in the format, which it might, again, probably will actually. The funny thing is that you have Glacial Crush, but then the Yeti deck has Wallbreaker Yeti, so they don't even play Glacial Crush. This might see a lot of play though in the Mono Tempest aggro decks, and other things because they don't want to play the Yetis. They don't want to level their Yetis. They just want to have a kill target anything with your anti-bolt dot card.
I think it should
yeah.
be one of in every deck of Tempest.
Also,
at least.
Allion Tempest spells love this thing.
Yeah.
With your Stasis Warden, like you discard it with a Metasculpt early, or like a Delphia or a Synapsis.
We might see poison cards, so this is also good.
We'll get there. We'll get there. But right. This thing is nuts. Like if you can level this earlier with like a Delphia, for example, and it's just like free. Destroy target anything if you have a Static Shock in your hand with a Stasis Warden on the board. That's what it does. And okay, the level 3 is hilarious against Thunderswords. I've actually done this to someone. I actually killed a guy because he buffed up his Thundersword to 44 life, and I level 1 Uranti Bolt, and I dealt him 41 damage. And he died. That was the most insane constructed game I have played since Set 2 came out. It was ridiculously fun. It was against an AU Robots deck, and I drew my Glacial Crush continuously, and I was just killing his gargoyles, and then I killed him with a Thundersaur. Not my Thundersaur, his Thundersaur. So, I mean, I don't understand the flavor behind what you kill damages him as well. Is it supposed to be like an avalanche or something, where the avalanche gets stronger as it takes more creatures with it or something? I don't know. But it will see constructed in draft. I really don't like it. But it will see constructed. Spark Brand Seer, because you gotta have the bad cards to make the good cards.
It's true, there need to be like some...
It's an Asir. Why is it always an Asir?
Dude, I was watching Brian Kibler drafting. I don't know if you watched him. Like,
I didn't.
Brian Kibler recently streamed again, and he was drafting, and even he said to some of the cards, that's like a borrowing card and stuff like that. So they need to make cards like that.
I know, but it's so bad. It's next level bad. Like, I mean, it made Mana Worm, like, not Mana Worm, freaking Lightning Worm. I always call it Mana Worm. I mean, they made Lightning Worm look good. That is impressive, by the way, guys. Good job. That is really impressive. Don't ever pick it. Don't even look at it. Stonebrand, one of the weirdest cards in the entire set. It's so odd. Give Defender a buff. Like,
yeah, it's weird. You do it maybe to the like white creature which loses Defender when you rank up. That's like the only thing that comes to my mind. But,
I mean, I guess, but I mean, I guess you could put it on your Ember Colossus, and then jetpack it. I mean, the funny thing is, a guy, like one of the guys on, there was a guy who sent me a message on YouTube, and he was like, "Have you seen Stonebrand? It works with gargoyles." And I'm like, "You need to reread Gargoyle again. You never get to see it with Defender on your turn." Unless your opponent does it on his turn, which would just be suicide. But I don't like it. I really don't like it. It's a color shifted. It's a color shifted enrage that's worse and situational. Next, yeah. Alright, Talon Stampede. Please stop making these. I don't want to see another one of these things. Seriously, it's getting insane. There's so many of them now.
And it's red, so it's only this turn.
It's really bad. Like
with white, you at least keep the attack.
You get to keep it. That's the only reason that might be good. So, wait a second. We now have Ferocious Roar, way better than this. Group Meal, way better than this.
And even the white ones.
Overwhelming Stampede, way better than this. Cool the Lightning. Cool the Lightning looks impressive because of this. It even has a random, like, restriction on it. Each 10-piece creature? Really? I mean, the only good
That was
thing...
like unnecessary.
It's so unnecessary. The only good thing about this card is the art. The art is hilarious.
Yeah, I was about to say, the art is good. The art is like really good.
It's hilarious, dude. It's a bunch of giants wearing masks and tribal tattoos and such, trampling over people. The art is amazing. The rest of the card is not. Thundergale Invoker, also known as... I have not been able to test this card yet.
Coming for me. There it is.
I feel like we went over this in the spoiler preview. I still feel as if it could be a one-of in a lot of different decks, but I wouldn't play it as more than a one-of, and the reason I play it as a one-of is because the effect is not level gated.
Yeah, well, I have not played it with it, but I got destroyed by it in draft.
Oh, okay.
Like level 3, and yeah, you don't have to level it, and it can be an insane finisher.
It's really good, but I'm not sure. I'm talking about constructed right now.
Okay.
It might see some constructed play. I wouldn't bet against it.
It might, yeah.
It might. Moving on. Umbric Glider. This is the second allied card for Tempest. So, wait a second. Wait. The Aloyan, they got a Echo Wisp that's slightly worse, so it's not that good. It might see play, though. And then they got an Ixion Marauder, which might see play. Necreum got a useless Palladium Pulse Mage.
Berserk Spite Mage as well.
And Berserk Drake, which might see some play, and it's very good in very good draft. Tempest got Berserk Spite Mage, which is insane, and Umbric Glider, which is insane. Like, this is the only allied card where I'm like, hey, Umbric Glider, pick it. Am I in Utera? No. Who cares? It's a 7/3 with mobility.
Yep.
Nobody cares that this is allied Utera. Like, if it's allied, if you have Utera, it's like, oh sweet, breakthrough. I will eventually kill my opponent. Because, you need breakthrough on something with mobility 3.
I really like the Umbric Glider.
I mean, the reason
it
will see dinosaurs. Yeah. I'm not sure if dinosaurs will be a deck, and we'll get to that later on. Not because it's bad, but because we'll get to that later on when we get to the Uterodon Rex. But the allied Utera, what I do like about it though is you get one attack in because there's mobility. Then you get like a half attack in because if they block it, they don't want to put giant creature in front of it since it has 13 life. So you get like another 7 damage in. So you get like an attack and a half as opposed to just one attack from your mobility creature, which can add up, I guess. But I love it, personally. I really, really like it. Uranti Heartseeker. No comment. I don't know. I don't know. We've gone over this before. Uranti Heartseeker is one of the strangest cards in the whole set. And I don't know what you do with this. So...
You know what I would have liked? If they made the ability... that it actually is depending on maybe your attack or something. Like you can ping for how much attack it has. Then that would be maybe playable.
But that's fire.
Know what I mean?
That's another Uranti, dude.
But you know what I mean, right?
I do, but that's kind of broken.
Think so?
It has Defender. It protects itself. That's busted.
So you think if you up it with a ferocious roar to 6, it kills everything with
You don't
6,
need to, dude. There's a Uranti in Alpha with one attack with that ability, and it's very good. 4 attack with Defender. Okay. That can target players. No. Just no.
Well, maybe not players then.
Okay, it's still broken, dude.
Yeah, but now it's useless.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's like good now. It's completely useless at the moment. But
maybe health, maybe not attack, maybe health.
What? It's even worse.
Why?
Because then it means you can't Sonic Pulse it. Like, no. Just no, stop it. Stop, you're breaking things. Moving on. We're doing all the Urantis at once. Uranti Ice Mage, also known as Give Anything Defender. This is useless apart from Wallbreaker Yeti, which makes it good.
Glacial Crush as well, dude.
I'm thinking in the Yeti deck.
Yeah, people are playing Glacial Crush in the Yeti deck. Techno is playing it.
I would just play Wallbreaker Yeti in the Yeti deck personally.
There's both.
You really don't need both.
It becomes free, dude. It's really not that bad.
Yeah, but you really don't need both, is what I'm saying, because Wallbreaker Yeti is actually enough. Like, how much hate are you putting for Gargoyles? Like, I need 6 answers to Gargoyles. What happens if your opponent's like Gargoyle, and you're I'm playing Yeti, so they just never level on.
It's not only against Gargoyles. He plays 3 Uranti Ice Mages.
Yeah, but I just feel the problem I have with the Yeti deck is that you want to level your Ice Mages and your Wallbreaker Yetis and things like that. But what I found is there's too much stuff to level. Like, way too much. Like, you need to level your Ice Mages, you want to level your Ice Mages. You want to level your Wallbreakers. You need to level your Warlords. You want to, like, level your Uranti Bolts. You want to level your Glacial Crushers. And you want to do Firemane Urantis and Weirwood Patriarchs and Ferocious Words. It just gets insane. Like, there's so many things you need to level, and that's the problem I have with the deck, is that you need to level everything perfectly, like in order against the deck you're playing, or you just get screwed over. That's the problem I had. It's a very, very good deck, but I feel as if it's quite difficult to play, and it's very, very easy to make misplays with that deck.
Yeah, but you can also get a lot of value out of that deck, if played correctly.
Yeah, but it's one of the hardest decks I've ever seen to play.
Probably, yeah.
But we'll see. Anyway, Uranti Ice Mage is very, very good because Wallbreaker, Yeti, and Glacial Crush. Moving on. Uranti Warlord. This thing is retarded. It's so insane. Like, when we looked at this the first time, we thought, hey, that's a pretty good Yeti. I mean, Yeti Tribal could be a thing, right? In Draft, it's insane. And in Constructed, it's insane. It nukes your opponent's board.
Yeah.
Like,
it can even be good if it's not a Yeti deck.
Yeah.
That's how good it is.
It blows my mind. Like, it's a level this compulsory. It's compulsory to level this in a non-Yeti deck. Like, it is that good. It's ridiculous. I mean, the art is still hilarious at level 1, by the way, but it's too good. I think it's too good. I think this should have been legendary. Because of Draft. This destroys Draft. As soon as someone gets one of these... I played against a guy in Draft who had 2 of them. He destroyed me.
Oh my god.
He completely
I was watching
wrecked
Techno
me.
when he played like 2 a turn. There was like crazy stuff going on.
I feel like this should be legendary just because of Draft. I don't want to see this in Draft, ever. Like, it's like Battle Tactician levels in Draft. It's insane.
It's insane in Draft, and it will be in a constructed stable.
For the Yeti deck. But it's ridiculous. On to Wallbreaker Yeti. Also known as the No Seriously, Screw You Gargoyles card. I've killed so many Gargoyles with Wallbreaker Yetis, by the way. So many. I even killed a Gargoyle in Draft with the Wallbreaker Yeti. That was
level
fun.
1 and 2 is insane, and level 3 is like decent. It's not insane, but it's decent.
The stats at level 1 and 2 are really, really good. And the stats at level 3 actually trades with a lot of stuff. It kills Battle Tactician.
It still trades with a lot of stuff.
And 1 buff, or just, I don't know, a Warlord. Yeah, that's a real combination. But this thing is so powerful. Like, the effect is really good. And it's on the level where you don't even feel bad for leveling it. Like, you'll level it just because you might Uranti Bolt something at some point.
And
watching
Techno, really I was actually recognizing that he still leveled Glacial Crush over it, because Glacial Crush gets like free.
I'm not sure if I agree with that. Alright, I know that it becomes free, and that's all nice and dandy and everything. But if you think about it, you get a free Glacial Crush, but the stats on this thing are really high for Yetis. Like, the Yetis don't have that high stats in general. They have really high health. Very, very few of them have 12 attack. And this has a free Glacial Crush on it. It's level gated, which is why you need to prioritize leveling it.
Yeah, but he was like not playing it that much. I had a feeling.
That feels
I think
weird.
he also only won like 1 or 2.
That feels weird to me because
weird.
I mean, Glacial Crush becomes free, but then this also has a free Glacial Crush on it, and the stats are good for a Yeti, and also it's a Yeti, which means Warlord does extra value. So I feel like you should be prioritizing this over Glacial Crush. You don't like the way he's playing is that he wants the free Glacial Crush, but Glacial Crush is designed so you don't need to level it. So by leveling it, it feels like kind of awkward, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I think he was probably like testing around.
Probably, but it still feels kind of weird. Oh, something else. This kills Phoenixes if they don't get the stupid 2.4 Phoenix.
Yep.
Which is gonna happen. Yeti Warcaller. The only bad Yeti from set 2 that isn't flavorful in some way like Heartseeker. This one's just weird. Stay away from it. Moving on. It blocks for days. Onto the Utera cards. That's all the Tempe's cards. Tempe's pretty good in the set, I must say, by the way. Pretty good. They got seriously buffed up. Like, they were the worst color in set 1, by far. I think they're actually playable now. Would you agree?
I would definitely agree.
And I feel like we missed...
Now to my most favorite color since the set came out.
Wait a second.
It has the most interesting cards, I feel.
Wait.
I mean Utera.
I feel like we missed a couple things. Yep, yeah we did. I'm an idiot.
Yes.
I didn't uncheck unowned.
Oh, okay.
No, we're just gonna go through the ones I have 0 copies of.
For example.
Yeah, we're just gonna go through the ones I have 0 copies of. So mainly the legendaries. It's just a couple more cards. Now, alright. Now this is where I get into the territory of I have not seen these cards yet. Because the Tempe stuff in general, I actually did not, like, the only set I haven't really looked through, was Tempe's, like, unowned. So, I'm looking at this card right now, Bin Ben, nice tongue twister there, by the way, guys, Lightning Herald. I haven't actually seen this card before.
Insane.
The art is crazy. I haven't actually seen this card before, so I'm gonna go ahead and read it. Defender, okay, interesting start. When you play a second spell, okay, put a 4/2 with aggressive into an available space at random, and it's destroyed at end of turn. That's really weird.
It is a weird card. It fits the Tempest because it's like temporary stuff, which comes up, which can be powerful, I guess, but
oh, the tokens don't scale, the spaces do. So Static Shock, combat. Okay. I mean, I don't think it's that good, personally. It'll go in the AT deck, like the the AT spell deck. But I'm not sure if it's that good. A 4/2 isn't that powerful, especially if you can't direct where they're going.
I guess they wanted to buff cards like Talion Stampede, because that's actually a card that would fit to Talion Stampede.
You're
but
trying
that's like
too hard,
card.
dude.
No, but you would agree, right? That's like the only card which has like synergy with Talion Stampede.
I guess. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like this card. It's a flavorful card. It's a niche card, but I don't really like it as like a constructed card. I don't even like it in draft. When are you ever casting 2 spells in a turn?
No idea.
I don't like this card personally. I mean, it'll go in the AT deck because they'll be like Static Shock, Energy Surge, Combat, Chump Block. But even then, it feels weird. I feel like the token should scale instead of the spaces. I don't particularly like it. Alright, moving down. So we've got Korok and Turnabout, which is the by far strangest card in Tempe's. Onto Korok. Funny thing, by the way, they misspelt this on Forge Watch.
Okay.
They called him Korot. In the article on Forge Watch. It was kind of hilarious. But, whatever. Now, after looking at the other Forgeborn, is this guy still as good? I mean, the art and the flavor is the best out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. He even shows up in the other Forgeborn stories. But Is he still as good as he was when we first saw him?
Definitely not at level 4. But
Oh, his level 4 is weak compared to the other
earlier
ones.
talking to you about a new upcoming beatdown deck.
Yeah.
Which has this card.
Oh really? Okay.
So,
that's not surprising to me. I mean this. All right, Cersei was not as powerful as we thought it would be because there's a bunch of tools to kill him or her. And also the level 4 Cersei will not end the game unless you have a way of giving it aggressive, because X-Rats will call the weak minus attack, defender. Jeez, there's so many ways of stopping this thing from killing you. I mean, we'll get to what I feel is the most powerful level 4 Forgeborn, which is like the Utera one. Let's just say if that thing attacks, you're dead. No way you're stopping that. But Ironbeard, like, he slowly ends the game at level 4. He will end the game, but he will slowly end the game.
Korok, so you can actually prevent it.
Yeah. Korok, 20 damage is no joke. Like, he'll deal 40 damage, basically, when you play him at level 4. That's a lot. Like, because you can give aggressive to something else. I feel like that's a lot of damage. But his level 1 is I'm tempted to say is one of the strongest of the Forgeborn. Like, his leveling is one of the strongest. His level 1 is okay. His level 2 is quite good. His level 3 is quite good. Level 4, I feel his level 4 is in the middle. I feel it's stronger than Cersei's level 4, which is kind of hilarious considering the way we thought that worked before. I feel like it's on par with Ironbeard, and it's weaker than Odric's. So, I mean, I think that Korok's sort of in the middle on the power level curve at level 4. I feel like his level 3 is the strongest, I want to say, with that effect.
Actually, speaking of the upcoming beatdown deck that like pro players are playing right now, the level 2 is the strongest, because the pro players are currently playing decks which have really good stats, which have cards that have really good stats at level 1.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
They play Sharpblade Mutant, they play Tangle Sprout even. They play Tangle Sprout in Constructed.
And also, what's it called? Stormcaller and things like that.
Right, they play Stormcaller.
That makes sense to me, but like I mean, in that kind of deck, the level 2 is the strongest, because if you draw this guy, then all of your level 1's alive. I mean, in the standard metagame that we've been playing with, I feel like the level 3 would have been the strongest, because that was when, like, the level 3s... Alright, basically, in the alpha metagame, the games ended in the first couple turns of level 3s based on which level 3 had the highest impact. So Phoenix was super powerful, Gargoyle, very, very powerful, Battle Tactician, Thundersaur.
Yeah, I agree. I
feel like this has the highest impact of any of the level 3 Forgeborn. Like, on board straight away. So I mean, I do feel it's the strongest at level 3 of all of the Forgeborn. That's what I meant, actually. It was not... I didn't mean, like, the strongest of itself, but the strongest at level 3 of all the Forgeborn. I feel like at level 2, in that kind of deck, it's the strongest, but compared to the other Forgeborn, it feels slightly weaker than the Utera one at level 2, like, in terms of raw power level. But I'm not sure. We'll have to see. I do think that Korok is still one of the strongest Forgeborn, if not the strongest. I think he does make his own decks. That's the important thing to think about this card. He makes his own decks. Which the other cards really don't. I mean, the Utera one does kind of. The Eloin and Necrim ones don't. They just kind of go in their faction decks. Korok feels... I feel like Korok is the most swingy. I have never seen a Korok, by the way. I've seen Cersei like 5 times. I've seen Ironbeard in draft a couple times. That was miserable. And I've got the Utera one, which I keep forgetting the name of. And I've never seen Korok, ever. But I think he's the strongest, although I haven't seen him in play yet. I'm gonna have to look around for that, and we'll come back. We'll come back to this if we do like a top 5 from set 2, which we might do at some point. Sort of in the future. If we do a top 5, like from set 2 or something at some point in the next couple of weeks, then we'll go over this topic again. But I think Korok is the strongest Forgeborn. Anything to add?
Nope.
Okay. Moving on to the final 10-piece card, I do believe. Yes, the actual final 10-piece card. Turnabout. What? Now, this is defined as a card that is designed to mess with people. Now, it ain't good in constructed. It isn't good in draft. What does it do? It messes with people. It's the frozen solid of the set.
Funnily, it gets played in constructed right now.
Sometimes. I don't like that much. I mean, it isn't level gated, which is kind of important.
Just saying, I have seen some of the really good players testing it out.
I mean, I can see why you test it. Because the level 1 isn't level gated, so you can, like, in theory, shut down something. See what I mean? But I'm not sure. I ain't sure. I mean, you can do some crazy stuff like, hey, battle tactician, flip it.
It was tried in the Yeti deck, for example, because the Yetis usually have like low attack and high health.
Yeah, I can see that. The level 3 is hilarious, by the way.
Yeah.
Level 3 is hilarious. Level 2, that's also kind of funny, but the level 1 I think is interesting. I mean, I'm not going to write it off straight away, but I feel like this is more of a fun card than a constructed staple. I may be proven wrong here, but it feels like it was designed to be a fun card as opposed to like a constructed thing.
It's definitely really like situational, but it's like a one-off card.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I don't particularly think it's that good, but we shall see. Onto the Utera cards again. Bramblack's Warrior, 6/2, 10, 6, 14, 10. That gives anything breakthrough for a turn. It's interesting.
Art is amazing.
Yeah, the art is amazing in general in the set actually. In draft, I don't feel bad about picking one because sometimes it wins a game in a board stalemate. I'm not sure about this card. I don't like it in multiples ever.
Um,
I'm not sure. It looks good, but you just
yeah,
never play it. Like, it's worse than Venom Fang in draft. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And I don't see this hitting constructed. Like.
Yeah, it's I'm putting a maybe on here, but I'm absolutely not sure.
I'm not sure either. I'm gonna move on. We're just not sure about that card. Now, Branch Weaver Druid, also known as because they want you to make the Death Bomb deck in draft. They want it to happen. I love this in draft, by the way. So much fun. It's so much fun in draft.
And like, you get it so often.
It's a Utera Deathseeker.
Yeah, and you get it like so often. Sometimes I have like 4 of these things.
I mean, it's not like on the same par as Grove Matriarch and Grove Huntress and things like that. You know, the power commons. But it's not bad. It's like on the same level as Ether Hounds. I think it's slightly better than Ether Hounds, actually. I love this thing. Good in draft. Please stay away from this in constructed. It is like...
It's not doing much in constructed.
If you want to play a card like this, play Blight Tusk Sower. Just saying. Play Blight Tusk Sower. Anyway, moving on to the Schisselhearth Hunter. What is it with the names in this set? Seriously. I don't like this thing. I see why it might be good, but I don't like it.
I like it in draft.
It's a win more in draft. Like, alright, the problem is that if this thing, in Magical Christmas Land, where you get everything you ever need, if you have a full board, then this is if you have a full board, it's insane. It's a 6/8.
Like an Nexus Pilot.
Yeah, it's a Nexus Pilot. It doesn't have to be in the middle. The problem is when you don't have a full board. And that's the major issue.
Yeah, but if you like drafting, then you obviously pick some Ether Hounds with it on the way.
I'd rather just pick, like, I don't know, a Tarsus or...
Well, yeah, well, it's not a first pick for me, like, when
I mean,
not like a
I don't
must-have,
feel
but
good
it's...
when I pick this, because it doesn't... The main reason I hate this card in draft is because, and I actually do hate it in draft, is because when I'm drafting, I'm thinking about cards that help when they're underleveled, and this really doesn't.
It's true.
This is horrible if it's underleveled. If it's underleveled, don't try and catch up. Never play it if it's underleveled. Just don't. It won't do anything for you. I don't like it. I mean, I can see why it could be good, but I don't like it personally. I mean, meh. It's bad when you're behind, and I think that's the major killer for me, at least. Anything to add?
Nope.
Okay. Deep Moss Raptor. What happens to this thing when it levels up? Like, seriously, what, like, process does it undergo when this thing levels from 1 to 2?
It's like on drugs.
It's like 2-2? 13-13! It's like a growth spurt. It's insane.
They should have made like the level 1 a bit smaller art-wise.
Yeah.
Like when you see it's a 2-2, it's actually way too big for a 2-2.
That looks like a 4-4 to me. But anyway, if this thing was a 4-4 at level 2, it'd be overpowered in draft. But no constructed, even in dinosaurs. There are better common dinosaurs.
Yeah.
In draft, it's good. It's not first pickable, but it's good. Like, it's no Stonefish Giant, but it's okay.
Is it the best level 2?
It's on the same level as Ebon Skull Knight, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it might be the one of the best level 2s.
It is definitely one of the best level 2s. That is for sure. I think it's on the same level as Shardplate Mutant, actually. That's crazy. The level 2 is nuts. Level 3 is okay. Level 3 is good. Level 2 is crazy. Level 1, terrible. It's okay. Now, the first poison card. Now, we said in the spoilers that poison might be a deck. And then we saw the set. And Dissolve showed up. And so instantly I was like, yeah, I'm making a poison deck.
And it's fun.
It's insane. There's so much power behind it. It's completely ridiculous. Like, Dissolve, along with the green defender, that's the low stat of the cycle, is really, really good. I think this is actually pretty good. Like, this will see constructed. In draft, it's insane. But I think if there's a poison deck, this will be the reason why it exists in constructed, along with Venomous Netherscale. Like, the fact that you don't have to level it until level 2, and then the fact that the level 3 kills 2 things with poison. This looks pretty good to me. I mean, this is pushed for removal. This is like really, really pushed. I think it will see play if there's a poison deck. If there isn't a poison deck, obviously it won't see play because it says poison. But I think this is crazy, personally. It might make the poison deck good.
Yep.
Alright. Moving on?
Yeah, I mean, I think poison will see... Maybe it's not...
It's not tier 1.
Consistent in like competitive.
Yeah, it's not consistent, but it's really powerful.
Yeah, it might get to top 16. We never know.
You never know. Anyway, on to the next card, Dryad's Boon. This is one of the first times they put the ability of a rare on another rare.
I think this is a really decent card.
It's pretty good in draft. Yeah. Don't touch it in constructed, please. But in draft, it's pretty good. And someone's going to make a Dryad's Boon deck in constructed, and they're going to be so happy about it. And I'm just like, just play Right at the Grim Gaunt.
Sometimes you can't play Right after Grim Gaunt when you're not in the corner.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay. Moving on. It's good in draft.
Yep.
Esperion Wartusk, our first Utera allied card. Now, personally, I love my elephants with armor. Yeah. Esperion is a Loyan Utera, so naturally the art shows a elephant wearing a suit of armor. The level 3 art is really weird. The level 2 is the best art here.
I agree.
The stats are pretty incredible in draft. I wouldn't play it in constructed, but in draft the stats are pretty insane. 4 armor with breakthrough at level 3.
Yeah, it's really good. It might become a thing if we ever see like a bright task tribal or something. In constructed, I mean.
I mean, there are quite a few elephants actually now. I did see it in constructed. I wasn't impressed. So, I mean, I wouldn't play this in constructed. In draft, though, pretty good if you're in the colors.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same power as Onyxian Marauder can have.
Yeah, that's true. Glowhive Siren. I have 17 of these. This is how often I draft this thing. It's so good.
Insane.
It's so good. It's so bad when you first look at it.
It's not only even good in draft. Like it is really good in Boros decks. Like super.
Yeah,
good.
in Boros it's really good. It's really good in Boros decks. Now I've actually drafted healing. I went 3-1 while drafting healing. It was the longest draft of my life, but I drafted healing. First game, I went to rank 6. I ended up on 104 life when he died.
Mm-hmm.
Second game, rank 9.
Yeah.
Like third game, rank 5. That was a pretty quick game.
And guys, this thing is so, you won't believe this thing is so good in draft. I think it trades. It does trade with almost every card. It trades with Stonefist.
It trades with Stonefist and gains life. Like, it's really good in draft. But the funniest story about that draft I did with healing, I've drafted healing a few times, but the funniest thing about that particular draft I did was the last game. Now, I was 3-0 at the time, and I was playing against another Utera Alliance deck that was also playing healing with Sirens and Lightbringer. That game went to rank 13.
Yeah.
And I lost because I didn't have as many healing cards as him.
I'm actually up to that point where I would say snap pick it. So good.
I don't think I would not first pick it, but I would pick it probably at the same level as Grove Matriarch, which is pretty good.
Grove, actually.
Really, over Grove? I mean, like,
yep.
I don't want to have like 3 or 4 of these things. I want to have 2. I think that's the ideal number.
Yeah, I think 2 is probably.
I want to have 2. That's why I don't pick it super high, because it's a common and you might see a few more. But I do think it's pretty good. I think it's really good, actually. One of the premium commons. Now, on to Lycian Hydra. When I first saw it, it was really good. And then I played with it, and I played with it, and I played with it, and my opinion of the card slowly decreased into nothing.
I have to agree. It just doesn't hit the good
Marks,
HP
yeah.
thresh mark.
Hey, it's okay, dude. It's better than Cavern Hydra.
I'm not sure about that, actually.
I mean, I just punched my table. Fail.
Okay.
But anyway, that's what the knocking sound was. But Cavern Hydra is bad. Lycian Hydra, I think, is better than Cavern Hydra, but is also bad. I mean, alright, it's not the worst card in the world, but it's not the best card ever. It's meh.
Yeah.
Moving on. Mending Spring. Oh my god. On the list of things to stop printing. Like, why? Like, I feel like this is a penalty for drafting Utera. Like, the Utera cards are really, really good. The penalty is, if you're in Utera, your last pick in every pack is guaranteed to be horrible.
Yep.
It's always a healing spell.
The art is like as you would be in a Disney movie.
Please don't pick this ever. Don't play in Constructed either. It's worse than Druid's Chant. Mimicleaf. Not good in Constructed. At all. Horrible. Not good. Stop it. Stop it. Leave this thing alone. I picked it in draft once, and I didn't even want to level it sometimes. There were 2 games when I did get to level it. In one game, it won me the game, and the other game, it was horrific. It depends on how your opponent deals with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure. In draft. In draft, I think it's pretty good. It's one of the better heroics you can get. In constructed, I would not pick it at all. Like, never play this in constructed, even in death bomb.
Yeah, I don't think we will see it in constructed.
I mean, I know it
at
makes
least not
plants.
at least probably not in competitive decks.
Yeah,
There
I
will be
mean,
obviously like some constructed decks.
people were saying, hey, you can cultivate it, and I'm like, yeah, you can cultivate phytobomb as well. That's a thing. I don't like it. Nuada, Faith's Flourish. I love this card so much. Like, alright, I played Death Bomb for 8 months, basically. Played Death Bomb since I got into the beta until, like, a month ago.
Do you get one yet?
I haven't got.
Nuada?
No, I haven't.
I have one.
Screw you.
I tried it. I think you maybe even want to play 2 after playing with it.
I love this card, dude. I just want it. I want to play with it. Seriously. Like, it's cultivate on a creature.
Yeah.
Why you no understand the cultivate on a creature? And it gets buffed by Wayward Patriarch. It's even hard to kill. I love it.
It's really hard to kill. It's one of the hardest to kill creatures
in the entire game. Like, it just sits there. I mean, you can kill it with Glacial Crush, and that's a thing, but it's really hard to kill besides that, and Call the Weak. I love this card. I don't know how good it is, but I love it. Now, on to Oros. Oros is pretty crazy, and there's a random poster in the background. Now, actually, while I'm at it, I'm going to turn on the light. Professional videos ever. But anyway, Oros was the final Forgeborn to be spoiled, if I recall correctly. Was he the final one, or was Ironbeard the final one?
Ironbeard was the final one.
Okay, Ironbeard was the final one. Both of them were spoiled on the Thursday we did the spoiler, by the way.
No, I think Oros was one day before, but it doesn't matter.
They outdid themselves. They were like, hey, we spoiled Cersei like an hour after you did your video. Let's spoil 2 this time. Yeah, and we even said it, like, in the show. We were saying, they're totally gonna spoil, like, a Forgeborn off that. Yes, they did. I played with this in draft. I got mine in draft.
You went 4, right?
Yes. I played it. I played the level 4 3 times. I never got to attack with it. My opponent conceded 3 times.
Does it have the best stats over all levels? I would say yeah.
Yep, out of all the Forgeborn, definitely. Now, the level 4 can be meta-sculpted, which is really awkward.
Yeah.
If you meta-sculpt it, it dies. But besides that, like with Cersei, you can wall it in, and it can't move and kill you. With Korok, you might live an extra turn. Ironbeard will not kill you instantly. If this thing attacks you, you're dead. The motion of it moving from his side of the board into the middle of the field will kill you.
Yeah, it's actually true.
He literally breathes on you and you die. Like, the funny thing is, I've actually been playing UA robots recently, and I've been playing this guy as a one-of, and he's good enough to the point when in robots I can justify leveling him over Gargoyle.
That says something, yeah.
Like, he has same stats as Gargoyle. He has better stats at level 1 and 2. No mobility, but he has breakthrough and he gains life. But his level 3 is crazy, and if you get into a stalemate, it's okay, guys. I actually got into a stalemate against NT removal. My opponent went Scorchmane Dragon, and then I went Oros, and he conceded. It's like, no, nice 24-24. I have 110. With breakthrough. I love this card personally. I think it's the most fun of all the Forgeborn. Just because it's amazing to see like a giant thing on your side of the board. It's the same reason why a Boris is so much fun to play with.
Yeah.
He's definitely the strongest in draft. He's the strongest one in draft because
mainly because
he doesn't depend on anything else.
Yeah, and drafts are sometimes really long games.
If you're
Because it's
playing life
such a
gain,
stalemate.
if you're playing life gain, as long he's like Scrapforge Titan. He's a time bomb. But Scrapforge Titan can be killed at level 3 and doesn't do much level 1 and 2.
Right.
This thing does things at all levels and can't be killed at level 4. Unless they have sap level 3, basically.
It is hard to kill at all levels.
It's hard to kill at all levels. They need to Dreadbolt it. Like, NT removal can kill this guy. But to be honest, NT removal gets punished by a lot of things. Like, if you're playing as NT removal, just don't play him. Or actually, screw it, play him, and you never know. Maybe you get one turn where they don't have the level 3 Dreadbolt and they die. Like, you just keep sticking it until they don't have the Dreadbolt and then they die. I find it ridiculous, to be honest, this particular card at level 4. I'm not sure. I think this will see a lot of playing constructed. Like, you can't really race it. If you're losing, it heals you back up, which is important, and it blocks really well. Like, this thing does block incredibly well. Usually whenever it attacks, it will gain 5 life or so through the breakthrough, which is actually not insignificant. And I think that the Aboris deck actually will turn into the Oros deck with Runebark Guardians instead. You don't need Aboris anymore, you just need Runebark Guardian and Oros, and there's 2 creatures that get very, very large very, very quickly. So I think that will be a deck. I'm not sure if it's tier 1, but I think it will be a deck. I mean, the Forgeborn is the main powerhouse in that deck, and I think it makes its own deck on its own. But I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that if you have 3 of them, you might play 2 in AU robots, because the card is that powerful from playing with it. Have you got any experience with this card yet, or have you just not seen it?
No, I just didn't see it at all. Sorry, I can't say much about it.
Ah well, you had your thing with Korok.
Right.
I didn't. Moving on to Poison Coil. Yutera got the best from the cycle of the low stat things with active, by far. It works with Dissolve, it works with Venomous Netherscale, it's amazing in draft. Alright, I have a poison deck. I played 1 of them at first. I then played 2 of them, and now I'm playing 3 of them.
Yeah. This card is so hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
If there's a poison deck, it's awesome. If there isn't, it's terrible. I'll put it that way. Not much else to say, really. Art's good, but not much else to say. If there's a poison deck, it's amazing. If there isn't, it's not too good. Moving on to Runebark Guardian. I have a complaint about Runebark Guardian. First of all, there's an avatar you can pick in Solforge, which is the one I pick. Now, it turns out that the avatar is taken from the face of Runebark Guardian.
Runebark, yeah.
It's so confusing. I look at the level, that's all I see, is the face. I don't even, notice the rest of it.
Although the rest is good.
Yeah, the level 2 and level 3 art is kind of weird, but level 1 is the best piece of art, I think.
I think the level 3 is still insane.
Level 3 is still insane. Level 2 is the weirdest. Now, in terms of power level, let's just say that this thing with Oros is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is really good. You play it with Oros, you play it in a Bros deck.
I don't even think Aboris will be played anymore. Aboris, you need to be above 100 life. Runebark Guardian and Oros, not so much.
Yeah, if you don't have Oros,
you'll play the Aboris, yeah. You can craft Aboris, which is important. I mean, I think he's really powerful. He might even see play, because of this guy, Stag might see play. Because all of your level 1 stags turn into +5/+5 on your Runebark Guardian.
Yeah, which is kind of insane. Yeah.
That is a thing. That is a thing, and I do like the fact that that is a thing.
Even without an effect, it still has decent stats. It's not that good or special, but it's decent.
I mean, I have played this in draft without having life gain cards, and it's been okay.
Right.
I like it. I really like it. I think it's better in constructed than in draft, which is kind of odd. But in draft, it can still be played with some healing cards, I must say. So, on to Solstice Reveler. Still no clue. No clue whether this is good or not.
Let me check.
It's the Ferocious Roar in a rank up.
Oh, there it is. I've seen it on stream.
I think it's good. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I've seen it on stream. It was played very often actually on the stream, so I guess she's good.
I mean, it is. I'm not sure. I think it is quite good. We'll have to see sort of what the RNG is on the rank up essentially. Like whether it's good or not, because that's always been the problem with rank up in general. They really made rank up powerful in this set, by the way. But I'm not sure if it's good. It might be unreal, but it's good at the end of the player level as opposed to the beginning. And it's the kind of card where if you get it when you're winning, you just win the game straight away. If you get it while you're losing, it's a little awkward. But if you get it while you're winning, then it will seal the game for you, which I think I quite like. So, I don't know. I think it's good, but I'm not sure. Moving on. Spore Torrent. I thought it was bad. Then I thought it was good. Now I think it's bad again.
Can you decide, please? I think it's really good in draft.
Alright, in draft it's good. I will concede it's good in draft. In constructed, I was like, it's bad. No, it's good. No, it's bad. No, it's good. Oh my god, Venom Fang and Poison Coil, and yeah, it's bad in constructed.
I think you can still play one.
You can play 1 or 2 in constructed. I will grant you that, but I would not play 3 because you have Venom Fang and Coil.
Right.
But it's good in draft because it becomes free. But that's about it. Stouthide Stegodon, because rank up healing thing that for some reason is more relevant than you'd think it would be. The healing actually is quite relevant a lot of the time.
It is.
In draft, not in constructed. Please don't play this in constructed. But
I think you don't even play it in a dinosaur. Not sure because I didn't touch the dinosaur deck yet.
There are better dinosaurs. Yeah. But I don't think it's that good personally. I don't feel bad about picking it.
I mean, it's a good blocker.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. Moving on. Tangle Sprout. Now, I'm going to have to get back to you on the constructed thing, and we'll go over it next time we're both on the same video. But in draft, I hate it.
Yeah.
I've never seen it win a game.
Yeah, don't get trapped in picking it. Like, new players might say, oh my god, it's so good.
No,
think
it's not.
twice about it.
It's horrible. Please don't pick it. Please pick this, Twin Strength. Now, this is what Conflagrate should have been to Firestorm, by the way, guys. Like,
Yeah.
Twin Strength is a worse Ferocious Roar, but that's all it needs to be. In draft, you don't need Ferocious Roar, you just need Twin Strength. It's
Yep.
good. It's very good. It's not like
This-
insanely
This
high
thing wins
pick.
games.
It's not insanely high pick. It's still a pump spell. Like, pick it at the same level as Enrage. I think slightly higher than Enrage.
Slightly higher.
But it's still an Enrage, basically. I think the level 3 is actually worse than level 3 Enrage. Because level 3 Enrage is like, this guy is now unkillable.
Yeah, but
Have
level
fun.
1 is obviously better.
The level 1's obviously better. I think the level 2 is better. The level 3 is worse. But it rewards you for leveling it. I like that. I like that about the target 2 stuff. It's good in draft. Don't pick it in constructed. Why? Because Ferocious Roar.
Right. There's no need to play it in constructed when you have Ferocious Roar.
Umber
It
Clasher.
really isn't.
Umber Clasher has not been as impressive as I thought it would be.
I think it will only see play in dinosaurs actually.
I'm not sure. Like, it has a lot of power behind it. In draft, it's crazy. I had 3 of these in draft once. That was fun. But in these colors, by the way, it was Allied Tempeast. I forced Allied Tempeast. Like, I picked a Talon Stampede to get my 3rd, like, Umber Clasher online. And it paid off. I went 4-0 with that. I mean, what do you expect? 4
You don't feel bad when you pick your Umbral Glacier.
in draft, even if you're not in the colors. Like, it's a good blocker. I'm not sure if this is powerful enough. In Dinosaurs, it's really, really good. But in other decks, I don't like it as much as I thought it would. Like, it's one of those cards which looks insane when you first look at it, but you fail to realize it has a bunch of disadvantages, primarily the health.
Right.
I don't know, I don't like it too much anymore. I think it's good in Dinosaurs, but I don't like it too much. Pterodon Molar. I love this thing. This thing is so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's insane. Like, it's one of the best Utera commons in the set, I think.
And one of the best dinosaurs.
Yep. So, it's a 6/6, 11/11, 18/18. Kind of awkward, you can't put it in an open lane, but you're always going to block with it, basically. And I think this is one of the only common dinosaurs that we'll see play in the dinosaur deck. Like, it murders battle tacticians. Like, it eats them.
Yeah, literally eats them.
It literally eats them. I mean, and not to mention, you're going to be playing 10-piece because you want your Umbra Gliders and your Umbra Clashers. So, you don't have any, like, middle lane restrictions. You just put your Molar in the middle and say, screw you, battle tacticians.
Don't play it open, though. It's a blocker.
Yeah, don't play it open. For crying out loud, please. There are better dinosaurs to play open. But this is very, very good in draft. Very, very good, and it might see constructed. Pterodon Rex. Now, this is what I meant by dinosaurs might not be a deck. Okay, so. What's the problem with dinosaurs? It's not the dinosaurs themselves. The dinosaurs themselves, I think we can both agree in set 2 are actually quite powerful. And they also have Thundersaur.
Yep.
That's good. The problem is that Pterodon Rex, I feel, is not powerful enough to make the deck dinosaurs instead of just Utera 10-piece aggro.
And you also, I mean, you can play Weirwood because you have the Thundersaur as well. I guess you have to play Weirwood even.
It's so awkward. I don't like it. I really don't
You
like.
kind of have to play Weirwood and Ferocious
Right. We
Roar
figured
to
out how this works, by the way. We thought, like, we didn't figure out how it works because the wording is weird. But the dinosaur that you play gets the bonus, which is what we thought it was originally, but then we dismissed it because we thought that was bad. Turns out it is bad. I've actually played a dinosaur deck since I have enough dinosaurs, and to be honest, the deck worked better when I took out the Pterodons and I took out some of the common dinosaurs and just added other 10-piece and Utera like value creatures.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
the level 2 is kinda okay actually, it trades with most of the stuff.
The level 3 is quite good.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem I have is your anti-warlord is enough to make the Yeti deck a thing. This is not enough to make the dinosaur deck a thing.
No, not quite.
I'm sorry, guys. So sorry, but I think the dinosaurs are good, but I don't like
Still a fun deck, try it out, guys.
I don't like the Rex. We have 2 more cards. I'm leaving Venomous Netherscale for last. Because we have a Verdant Grace. Now, I'm not finishing the set review on Verdant Grace, I'm sorry. It's a healing card. Because we have to make the bad cards to make the good cards. It's a common healing card because they want to punish you for drafting Utera. It's another common healing card. I'm sick of these things.
I don't know about this card.
We have 4 of them now.
Why would you play it?
I don't know, okay? I get really emotional about these stupid healing cards. I hate these things.
There's just no space for a card like this in a constructed deck ever.
Yeah, I hate them. I hate it so much.
They can actually be, to be fair, they can be good situationally, but you don't have the space.
Magical Christmas land.
Yeah, you just don't have the space to put them in.
I don't like it. Alright, can we move on to the actual last card in the set?
Yep.
Venomous Netherscale.
I hate this card, mainly because I played against Jotto's poison deck.
I played against Eon in a game. He beat me because he had X-Wraths against poison. But I actually
won against
killed
you as well, but it's still a really good.
I've updated the deck a lot more since you played me actually.
Yeah.
But I played the latest version as Eon, who was playing a Lion Necrium, with armor and regen, and I almost beat him. with poison.
Nice.
Like, I killed 4 different level 3 X-Wraths with poison.
Oh,
That's
pretty
insane. Like, alright, this thing is ridiculous. I am sorry. Like, we went over this in the spoiler, and we were like, if poison's good enough in set 2, then, and then there's like Poison Coil and Dissolve and Venom Fang and... So, alright, this is how this works.
It's so much fun. The poison deck is so much fun.
It's so much fun. Alright, this is how the level... I've actually had 3 of these on the board at once. So what I did was, I had three Venom Nether Scales. I then played a Venom Fang and one-shot his Grimgaunt. Like, what? Because it's double, double, double. I think the funniest thing I've ever seen with this, though, was Noxious Cloud.
It was against me.
Yeah, I wiped his board of 4 creatures with a level 1 Noxious Cloud.
Yep.
It was so much fun to watch. Because I think I had 3 of these on the board, didn't I? I had 2 or 3 of them. With like a Poison Coil as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just went like, Noxious Cloud, double to 2, double to 4, double to 8. Plus the Poison Coil giving me another 8 damage on your Battle Tactician, and your entire board is dead.
That was insane.
From 1 tick. Like, it was completely ridiculous. And the level 3 will win, like, it will just take over the game if this isn't killed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this, like, I feel like poison is kind of a tribal, almost. Random thing.
Yeah.
Why is this a creature type snake?
Yeah, look at the body, I guess. Yeah, you have to look at the body.
But it's half human, half snake.
Yeah, but there's like no snake human.
It carries a sword. And it has arms.
It's a snake!
It has a face. Like, couldn't they just make human snake?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe snake tribal and set 5 will be too powerful then. But I love this thing. I mean, poison is basically a tribal at this point. And this card, even if it doesn't make it now, every set they make from now on, there's going to be one guy who's like, poison? Is there any poison? Is there any poison in the deck? Is there any poison? Like, searching through the set, like going card by card by card. Oh, this is good! And then he just breaks the format with this thing. Like, it's so much power. It's so powerful. The level, like, even the stats at level 1 are absurd. 4-8 is unheard of.
That's good on every level, I think.
Yeah. But especially at level 1. The stats are unheard of at level 1.
Yep.
Anyway, that is the last card in the entire Rise of the Forgeborn set. The whole thing. Now, what I want to do, just before we close this out, is I'm going to bring up all the cards. And I'm just going to sort out for Legendary. And just go over, like, we're just going to quickly go through, spend probably about 10 seconds on each, of which Legendary we think are going to see play. Okay?
Okay.
Alright, so, first thing, Delphia, Chrono Sculptor. We're starting the entire set.
Oh, you mean every color, okay.
Every color, yeah. Delphia. Now, Delphia, I don't think we'll see that much play. I think might see some, but it's still worse than Synapsis, even though I know what the effect does now. The level 3 is still worse than Synapsis, the level 1 is worse than Synapsis, the level 2 is better. I don't know if that's enough to, like, push it over the top, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I guess you play it in a deck where you actually don't want Real Patriots, then Delphia is probably better.
Maybe. The level 3 is definitely worse.
Agreed.
So, maybe. Ironbeard, Hammer of Avalon. In control decks, yes. I meta transferred this in a draft once and took 15 turns to kill me. It was the most miserable game of my life. But I think this will see some play. It kills Cersei. It's a massive counter to Cersei.
Yeah, definitely will see play.
Definitely.
Sure.
Steel Scale Dragon. Tiny Grimes, you do not count. Moving on.
Yeah, not so much. It's a fun card.
It's a fun
that's
card.
about it.
Cersei, Hand of Varna. It's a Forgeborn. It will see play in Standard. It will see play in Draft. Moving on. I think, are we on the same level there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Shallow Grave. I'm not sure.
Well, I have seen it,
Maybe.
but
I think it's better than we're giving it credit for.
probably, yeah. It might be because we actually don't have experience with this card, guys.
I think Keeper of the Damned is maybe worse, maybe better. I'm not sure how that works. The free at level 3 is really, really good.
Yep.
Maybe. Varna's Pact. No. Just no. This will not see. Stop it. Don't make decks with this, because you'll play like level 3 and you get 3 level 1s and you don't have your 14/14 that you normally get from Lyria.
I agree. I don't think it will see play.
Ugh. Bin Ben. It's like Big Ben. Bin Ben. Lightning
there might
Herald.
be some crazy people who will try him.
I don't think it's good.
He won't be competitive.
Yeah, I agree. Glacius. The most maybe of any legendary ever.
I think it's more. Yeah, I think it's more than maybe.
Maybe. Alright, more than maybe. That's a quote. You can quote that. More than maybe.
More than maybe.
Korok,
Moonstar
definitely.
2014.
Yeah, Moonstar. Korok, definitely. Like,
Yeah.
arguably best card in the set.
Maybe.
Maybe best card in the set, I think. Definitely see play. He's very, very powerful. Nuada. Hilariously fun. Not sure if it's amazingly good or anything, but very, very fun and I think people will play it because it's fun, even if it's not that good.
I mean, we have seen how powerful such a plant deck can be. We have seen it in the Forge format.
Yeah.
So there might be some crazy people out there who will make actually very good work out of that card.
Yeah, I agree. And also, Wildwood Sora got a big buff.
Yep.
Oros. Definitely see play.
Yep.
He makes his own decks.
Actually, in several decks.
In several decks, not even just in healing. Like he lets, if you're playing him in robots, you just play him against like aggro decks and he races. Because they can't block him. Like if they block him, they lose momentum. But then if they don't kill him, he just skips their turns.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually really, really like Oros. I don't think he's as good as Korok, but I think he's good. And lastly, Solstice Reveler.
I think it's about the same power level as Glacius, probably.
So slightly more than maybe.
So more than maybe.
Okay. As for the actual total set, I think the total set added a lot to drafting, especially. As I said at the beginning, drafting with the set was so much more fun than drafting with only set 1. I know it's new cards, but I only drafted like for 1 week with set 1. I've already been drafting for 2 weeks plus now. With set 2.
I wish I could have drafted more, but well, Diablo got released.
Yeah, I decided not to go on the Diablo train.
Not yet, at least.
Yeah, I will play Diablo at some point, but Solforge first. Drafting was amazing. Constructed-wise, the legendaries might see play. Some of the heroics, maybe. A couple random commons.
Have a shifting format. I think we will have a shifting format.
I'm not sure if it's enough to put AU robots off the pedestal, though.
Well, obviously not complete. Like it will still be played and it will still be good.
No, I mean I played AU
there
robots.
Are a lot more answers now.
I played AU robots and I've in constructed and I've gone like 3-1, 3-1, 4-0, 4-0.
Right, but you would agree that there are way more answers now.
There were way more answers, but I still feel as if it's the strongest deck. I actually kind of feel as if it's slightly stronger because people aren't going to be... It's kind of the counter effect where people are going to be focusing on killing gargoyles and they don't quite realize... Like, if everyone switches to Yetis and such, people will just be like, hey, let's the robot shell. Remove 3 gargoyles, add 3 Oros.
I think this upcoming beatdown Korok deck will see a lot of really good play. Maybe we should do a show on that at some point.
I haven't seen it yet, so we'll have to see. We can look over a game of that, and if we think it's gonna be interesting, then we might make a show about it. But I'm not sure. I think there's a lot of tier 1 decks that are yet to be discovered. I still think that I mean, out of all of the tier 1 decks from last format, I think AU Robots is the least affected. If you see what I mean?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
It's the least affected. The standard set 1 AU Robots still destroys things, even with no additions from set 2.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a little bit of an issue. And I mean, they even get some of the more powerful cards from set 2 as options. They have Solstice Reveler.
You have way better
Oros.
ways now to deal with gargoyles, obviously.
Yeah, and as I said, like, if gargoyles get shut down, it's going to affect the other robot decks and the other aligned decks, but the, like, AU, they just remove 3 gargoyles and add 3 Oros. Especially if 10-piece aggro decks with Glacial Crushes become very, very, very popular, you're just going to run Oros instead of Gargoyle. It does the same thing against 10-piece. And they don't have Dreadbolt. So I feel as if Oros, I feel, is like the most underhyped of the Forgeborn. Like, compared to its actual power level. I think Ironbeard is the most underhyped, but I think he's also the weakest Forgeborn. I'm not sure if you'd agree with me there, but I think he's the weakest. I think Korok is the strongest. Then
Cersei might be the weakest.
Maybe. I mean, it's a Blightwalker, though. You can't really underestimate that.
It is a Blightwalker, yeah, I mean...
Blightwalker mobility is a thing.
Okay, let's put it that way. Cersei is probably the weakest at level 4, I guess.
Weirdly enough, it ends the game when it attacks, but...
Yeah, but
it dies so easily. I think out of the Forgeborn, Korok is the strongest. Then I would probably say Oros, then Cersei and Ironbeard tied. I think.
About that.
Yeah, I would say that. Anyway, thank you for watching. This was a slightly longer one than the last one. Now, I did know this was going to take longer than the first two, because Utera 10-piece were much more interesting in the set than Aloy and Necreum.
Agreed.
Yeah, the Aloy and Necreum got hosed a little bit. But anyway, thank you all for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you have any feedback or just want to chat about the set in general, put it in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. This has been Jotto and Moon.
Goodbye.
Signing off.